All right, here we go. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna move this. That's better. No distractions. So I debated making this video, to be honest. I really wasn't sure this was something that I even wanted to film. And as you might have seen from the title, there is a solid reason why videos have not been going up recently. And when I say recently, I mean the last 6 months, I want to say. It's not that we haven't been doing anything. We've actually been doing quite a bit. We went to Rhode Island. What's wrong, buddy?
It smells like poop. Yeah. Why does it smell like poop?
We went to Mystic, Connecticut.
Is that a whack or something? It is.
I don't know what it is. It looks really cool though.
What? No, it's a whacker.
When we were there, we also went to Narragansett. We went to Providence. We did a trolley tour. Went to a mansion, which I can't remember the name of at the exact moment, but that was really cool.
Are you thinking of Haunted Mansion?
You thinking of going on a haunted mansion, babe?
She's like, I'm a little nervous, a little scared. When do we get on the ride? We think maybe there's a toilet behind you. Oh no, the toilet was over there behind the door.
So maybe that's just not a water closet? Just, yeah.
We've been to Hershey.
Oh, and you remember this ride? You really like it. Remember, we did it a bunch of times. Emmy, you remember this?
We've been to, I think, the beach, maybe even.
Emmy, step on the key.
And that hasn't gone up. And there's been some adventures in between that also we've done, and they just haven't shown up.
Can you tell me the joke? What's the joke?
Why did the monkey stink?
Why did it stink?
Because it was going poop. See, I'm shaking it.
He's working. If you move the wheels left and right, it should get him free.
And there's a good reason for that. Well, there's a couple good reasons. About a month ago, I realized that I wasn't getting things done. And you might notice that I said, we've been doing all those things for 6 months, and only a month ago, I realized that stuff wasn't getting done. So, obviously, time has been a factor. I just started a new job, and my, obviously, daily job comes first because that's how we pay for things like the trips and going to Disney World, which we are going twice this coming year. In 2025, we'll be going twice. One a longer trip that's going to be more of a budget trip. We're actually driving. And the other one's going to be kind of a shorter, long weekend. I think it's like 4 days in the park, I want to say, trip as well. So we've got some stuff coming up too, which is another reason why I'm like, I think I need to start doing stuff. So it's been a little overwhelming, and I know that sounds silly and stupid, especially for something like this that's just like, it's just for fun. It's just to, I enjoy making videos, I enjoy filming videos, and I like doing things with the family that are not just sitting in front of the TV or going to play in the backyard, which I do like, but like, going to explore somewhere. Syracuse Zoo. We went to the Syracuse Zoo.
See it, Emmy?
See all this.
Oh, here it goes.
Right on the cream.
Yeah, looks like a wet noodle.
They have dragons there. That was awesome. We went to the zoo in wherever we were in Rhode Island. We went to the zoo. That was really cool. They had dragons. Dragons are a huge thing right now, and we got a ton of video from that. Using a new camera, in fact, using the Panasonic S5 IIX that I was using at the time. And that's not what this is. This is the normal Nikon that I'm always using. So, any case, I have not been able to focus. And everything has been seeming a little overwhelming. And I know that sounds stupid, and it's one of those things. So, about a month ago, realized that I just wasn't getting stuff done. And it wasn't until I got my new job, my new position, that in my daily job, that I realized that my focus has been off. I used to be able to prioritize things. I used to be able to jump in, could be like, list, bang, 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 get it all done, and I'm good. I'm getting things done. Things are getting published. Things are getting done at work. I'm having time for the kids. The house is being cleaned. The laundry is being done and folded and put away, which is a very hard thing, at least for our household. Doing the laundry is one thing, folding it's another, and putting it away is the biggest task of the whole thing. Trying to find space for it. But I realized that I didn't seem to have control anymore. And so I went and I talked to our family physician, who our entire family goes to the same doctor, the kids and Becky and I, which is very convenient. And I guess I should rewind. I realized that my focus had been off, and it was off like it hadn't been in years. So when I was in elementary school, I was diagnosed with ADD. And it wasn't like ADHD. I mean, they were separate at the time. Now they're like one thing. But it wasn't the ADHD kind of side effects. It was really the ADD stuff. So I went through, back then you had to go through like all the testing. I don't know what has to be done now, but I had to do like all these written tests. I had to go in to do these special learning things, and they were timed, and it was extremely stressful. Only to find out, yeah, that's what it was. It's very much like going to do like a lactose test or a gluten test. If you've ever done those, they're awful. And really, you just find out like, yeah, these things make my stomach hurt. I knew that ahead of time, but I guess we have to go through these painful processes of drawing blood and having my stomach hurt just to find out that yes, that is the case. So I equate that to the same thing. Yeah, I was diagnosed very early. I'm 37 now. I want to say 38, 37, somewhere around there. It doesn't really matter anymore. And so I've lived with this for a very long time. And it was always a promise of, hey, you're on medication now. You'll be good. Like it'll get you through right now, but eventually you'll grow out of it, most likely. At least that's the way I heard it, is I will grow out of it. And now being a kid, I probably wasn't listening very good. So, who knows? So I was on medicine for years, up until high school, maybe even college. I honestly can't remember. And I eventually realized that I didn't really like being on medication. And I wasn't taking life too seriously at the time. I was getting okay grades. I was a C average student, and I'd get the occasional B, and of course A in gym, or whatever those are. But yeah, it wasn't making me feel good. Like, I remember in middle school, we were having to read a book, and we were like doing a couple chapters every night or something like that. And I was at my grandma's house, and my mom was trying to help me do my homework and read the book and write down whatever the questions were to make sure the teacher can prove that you actually read the book. And I couldn't read it. Like, I was literate, I could read, but like, I could look at the word, I could read a paragraph, I could read a sentence, and it just didn't register with my brain. And I think that was the lowest point I ever hit. I was like, I can't read this book. Like, I can read it, but the comprehension of what I'm reading, the retention just wasn't there. And it was insane. And to this day, that's the single moment I remember where I was like, this is awful. Like, I don't like this at all. And at that point, I still was on medication, I think. I don't think my parents let me go off the medication at that point. I think I went in spurts of not taking it and taking it. Yeah, there were spurts of taking it and not taking it. We'll just say that. And it always reverted back to me having to take it. So after college, I know I wasn't on it anymore. I thought I was done. I was functioning. I had jobs. I was making good money. And, I was in sales, I was in the car business, I was doing all these things, and I was excelling. I was doing really well. I was a finance manager, I did sales, I did my own credit division, and I was doing really well. And then I went to kind of a corporate job, and I was still doing great. And then for the last 3 years or so, I've been doing corporate jobs and still making time for all the fun stuff, but it's been slowly kind of going down a little more and more each year. I feel like having my free time as much as now it's just kind of focused on the weekend, especially with the kids in school now. You know, our oldest is in kindergarten, so he's, you know, gone and not here some of the days, and our youngest is still in pre-K or daycare, so she's only going 3 days a week. So there's 2 days a week where she's here, and I work from home, so I can see her, you know, every once in a while when I'm walking around getting water or whatever it might be. So I realized that I was struggling a little bit, and I went and talked to the doctor, and I'm back on medication again for ADD. Long story short, I saw something on social media like yesterday. I don't even remember what platform it was, but it was like a short, a reel, whatever it was, and it was like depicting it, ADD that is, and it was like your brain coming up to the do something desk or do whatever, and it's like, do these lists. Here's a list. Here's the things you want to accomplish. You do them. And it's like, well, I want to do everything at once. Like, I want to get it all done now. And they're like, you can't do that. There's not enough time. But your brain's like, no, I want to get this all done. I have all these things that I need to do, and I want to do them now. And it's like, that's what's going on in my head. And I realized, like, I'm stressing over having to get 20 hours of work done, 20 hours of, you know, editing videos, 20 hours of the work week, 20 hours of whatever, laundry, cleaning the house, cleaning the bathrooms, making sure the kids are, all this stuff. And it's like, a day only has 24 hours, and 6 to 8 of that I'm sleeping. Like, it doesn't make sense to focus on that. You know, you can't get all that done. And yet my brain wasn't able to kind of get rid of that thought of like, I need to do all this stuff. And then it just does nothing. That's kind of what happens. You're like, oh my gosh, I have all this stuff to do. I gotta do this. And then you're just like, ugh. And then nothing gets done. So the good news is that it is helping. It was extremely rough going back on it from a kind of mental standpoint of, hey, you know, I kind of feel like I failed. You know, I was supposed to be past this. I'm 37 years old or 38, whatever it is. And I should be past having to need this. Like, it's almost like a crutch. And I know it's not necessarily that. It is helping me. Like, I'm able to focus now, and I can get things done. And like, I have that extra little bit of energy or processing power to get through. You know, I can go back and I can make those lists, and I can be like, okay, this is a reasonable list, this is a reasonable time frame for it, and I can get these things done. Where I wasn't going to be even able to make the list, or I made a list and it just seemed so overwhelming. So that's kind of what's been going on. My goal is to start, you know, going back and editing these videos. It kind of stinks because they're, you know, 6 months old at this point, but I do want to get through them all. And even some of the earlier videos we've done, they are unfinished. You know, some of our Disney trips we have, there are days of footage left that just never got put anywhere. They're sitting on my hard drive right now. I've got 4 hard drives of just trips and videos and photos and all sorts of stuff, and it just doesn't go anywhere right now. And that kind of sucks, because I want to share it. I want to be able to look back on it. Sitting on a hard drive does nothing for anything and anybody. Like, I can't go back and look at it. I mean, I can, but I got to plug it in, find the files, you know, whatever. I'd rather just pop into YouTube and watch the video, whether it's, you know, public or not. Some videos are private, and I can just go back and I can look at some of our trips, or some of our, you know, Christmases, our Easters, and things like that. That's basically what a lot of this is. It's just like looking back on memories, and like almost like family videos, I guess is probably the way to put it. So a lot of it's just for me, which sounds selfish, but that's what all this is, because it's just something I like to do. I like making these videos. I like, I don't know if I really love editing them. If I had a better workflow, which I am in the process of trying to figure out, I think it would make things a lot easier, get things out a little bit faster, and it wouldn't be as stressful trying to do all this. But at the same time, it just, it's one of those things where 6 months ago, that's not where my head was at. So trying to get through all these files and videos and clips, it's a little bit daunting still. And that's not because of, you know, like my brain. That's because they're literally just on 4 different memory cards and a bunch of different spots, and they're labeled wrong. And it actually is a daunting task. Like there's nothing to get around that other than just physically going through and watching every single one of them to see what it is. And some clips get lost in the process. But in any case, I really felt like I just needed to not even explain this, but just to verbalize this. I'm coming up on a month of being back on medication for ADD. It was very rough getting back on. Like, I hated being on medication because I felt like I was kind of like a zombie where like I had tunnel vision on everything, which got things done, but like I didn't feel like my personality could come out. I didn't feel like I could like deviate from the tasks that were at hand. Like I went from one to the next, and then when there was nothing, I just sat there. That's what I felt like. Now, I've found a good balance. I'm on it right now. You know, I'm able to talk like this. I mean, this is a task that I'm literally tunnel vision focused on, but I don't think that, maybe it does. In any case, things are better now. I plan on getting some of this stuff edited and out. Definitely in a better headspace now, which is good. Lots of changes with, like I said, kindergarten, Amy going to pre-K, new jobs, tons of backlogged of footage, coming up to winter, so we got to do all the fall cleanup, leaves, and stuff around the house. So there are some other things that have to get done and take priority first, but honestly, I do want to get some of these done and out, especially before we hit our next 2 Disney trips next year, which is in the end of January and March or May. I don't remember. We're in the process of figuring that date out. But the first one is booked. So it'll be very interesting to see those this year. One of our trips, my brother's coming along, so that's going to be really cool. He hasn't been there since we were like kids, so he was like 5 the last time he was at Disney World. So this is going to be a lot of fun in that respects, especially getting to see someone see Disney for the first time in, you know, more than a decade. And then the next one after that is going to be the big last family hurrah of everybody. So the footage of that's going to be limited, but you know, maybe we'll do a couple little things here and there to squeeze in, mainly because I think we're like 16 or 19 people in our group. But yes, better headspace. I think we're going to start getting some videos back out again. They are going to be kind of older videos in the sense that they are not things we are currently doing, but 6 to 8 months I feel like isn't a huge deal. I mean, the kids will look a little bit younger, but I just felt like I needed to bring that up, say it verbally, really to just myself. I think it's good to verbalize stuff like this. And yeah, so expect some more videos to come out, and a couple Disney trips coming up soon.